All right, hello everybody. Welcome to Q&A live stream number 124. It is approximately 7:38 p.m. right here on the East Coast in the great state of New Jersey. Today is Monday, March 1st, 2021. So it is the anniversary of the first coronavirus case in New York City. That is something I certainly wanted to highlight in this Q&A live stream today. So this month we have several closings going on, as everybody knows. The Macy's stores that are still continuing liquidation sales. I believe the Macy's in White Plains is now at 70% off. They went from 60. I'm sorry. All the Macy's stores that are currently closing went from 60% off to now 70% off the original ticketed prices on items. But all those Macy's and Bloomingdale's are no longer accepting any returns. The other thing to talk about, of course, is the Sears closures. So next month, the Kmart in Kearney is closing Sunday, April 18th, 2021, followed by the Kmart in Kearney, which will be closing Sunday, May 2nd, 2021. So we got those closings going on, of course. Hilco Merchants, I believe, started the Jcpenney liquidation sales today. So yeah, lots of department stores closing and very sad, and lots of people losing their jobs. It is unfortunate. So my internet is really slow. So again, it's not the best. Oh, there we go. Jcpenney. They still have Lord and Taylor up, but SB 360 Capital Partners LLC does have up all of the Jcpenney stores that are expected to start liquidation sales very soon, of course. Obviously, this is just really a review of what's been going on in the last couple of days. Fry's Electronics closing, Belk emerging from bankruptcy. So lots of stuff going on today. Now, no really news yet. It's still the very beginning of the week, so I'd imagine by the middle, towards the end of the week, we'll start seeing some news stories about some retailers. So, again, in the meantime, if anyone has any questions regarding retail or mall closures, or we could even talk about Lord & Taylor if anybody really wanted to put that in the chat. You guys can go ahead and do that as well. So yeah, hi Tiger Boy PR17, how are you? Is anybody else live right now? That's the question. No, nobody else seems to be live. So does anyone have any questions for the chat? We'll see how this goes. If we don't see the numbers improving in about 6 minutes, I probably won't be continuing this live stream for much longer. But I do want to give people some time to get on here and stuff. And again, if anybody has any questions, just go ahead and type that in the chat, and I will be more than happy to answer them in the chat. So. Actually going to try. Really? No one has any questions? Nobody has any questions. Okay, we got some more people. This has been happening a lot more often. I've always been able to do these live. Oh, hi, Nicola Solar. How are you? So yeah, lots of closings going on. Obviously, the Bed Bath & Beyond stores, the Christopher & Bank stores, the Express, and the Lord & Taylor stores all closed last weekend. We have the 18 Jcpenney's going out, 45 Macy's stores going out. So lots of closings are going to be happening within the next 3 months. Yes, I know that Johnson & Johnson vaccine was approved. No, Lord and Taylor is not. No, their Boscov's is not replacing Lord and Taylor at Freehold. The only thing that is possibly coming to Freehold in the former Nordstrom is either Brookhaven or one of those two universities down there in Monmouth County is potentially looking at taking the Nordstrom space. Other than that, I have not heard anything else about that mall. Yeah, next weekend is daylight savings. Not this weekend, but next weekend we do set our clocks an hour forward. So I'll catch up on a little sleep. So that's a good thing. And the good news is it's right around my spring break. No, probably not. That's way too late for me, and I'm gonna want to get used to the time. So yeah, it has been. They haven't exactly. They've only really closed under like really awful ones. I'm talking like Summerus, Vuhers Town Center went. What was another one in Jersey that went? Oh, the one at Preakness. Obviously, we knew that one was going to close. West Orange went, but that's a backstage now, technically. Yeah, no, Macy's really hasn't closed locations in New Jersey. The only really Macy's in the area that's closing, at least around here, is in White Plains, and that's pretty much I think they're at 70% off now to the original ticketed price. As a matter of fact, let me get their phone number up. Macy's White Plains. This internet is incredibly slow. The college will probably, I don't know, they'll probably reconfigure the space. I can't imagine they're going to keep it the same. But anyways, before we move on, I'm pretty good, Scorch. How are you? But anyways, before we move on in the stream, I do want to call the Macy's in White Plains. I bet it's 70% off now. Let's see if I'm correct.
Thank you for calling White Plains, Galleria. Our store closing sale is in progress. All sales are final and discounted up to 60% off the original ticketed price. Cosmetics, fragrances, and select vendors are excluded from the additional discount. We cannot accept returns at this location. If you have questions about our closing sale, we can help you. For general questions about Macy's or the in-store shopping experience, please speak to our cross-county shopping center location at 914-964-6680.
Okay, so not yet. Not yet. They might be moving to 70% off this week, though. Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking it hasn't hit me yet, but yeah, I mean all the documentaries are up. I mean, if anyone, we've talked about Lord and Taylor so much, and now their stores are all closed. So yeah, it's a shame though. Lots of malls are in trouble now. Livingston is Livingston's Lord and Taylor's been closed since the 29th, but definitely Freehold Raceway is in trouble. Is in a lot of trouble. That mall losing its Nordstrom, I mean, that was a big draw for that mall. It's really sad that mall lost the Nordstrom. Because now the other, sorry guys, the other upscale tenants are, not exactly profound with the Nordstrom decision, and they might pull out as well. And I have a feeling that Apple might pull out of Freehold as well. I mean, given that there's a Macy's and a Jcpenney, I can't imagine Apple wanting to stay there. Plus, their store is not big. Yeah, I mean, there is no reason for that place just to stay open as a mall, unfortunately. And I think Monmouth Mall is going to become the better mall than Freehold. I mean, if Nordstrom stuck around, I think the mall would have been fine. But, Apple's never updated their store. So, excuse me, there's really no reason for Apple to keep that store at that particular mall. I could see Apple going to either Monmouth or one of those upscale towns near the northern part of the Jersey Shore. There's no reason for Apple to stay at Freehold anymore. Yes. Livingston is, yeah, out of the two and I think it's already on a list of Macy's stores that are expected to close. But yeah, Macy's Livingston is definitely going to close. There's no reason for that store to stay in business. I mean, Sears closed at the height of COVID last year, and you know what? And I'll get into this in a minute. Sears closed at the height of pandemic last year. Lord & Taylor closed December 29th, and I mean Macy's is the only anchor left. And yeah, I could see Barnes & Noble closing and relocating at least. No, Saks Fifth Avenue's at the Tyson's Galleria. I don't think they'll go to Westfield, Montgomery. So, I was thinking to myself, a year ago today, on Sunday, March, yeah, I think that's where they might go for, honestly. I can't imagine them staying at Freehold much longer. With Nordstrom no longer being there, I just don't think there's a reason to keep an Apple store. Plus, they've never updated it. So, I mean, what's the point of Apple holding on to that store? Really no point, honestly. Yeah, Manhasset's doing well. That's definitely a good area for Apple to stay in. I can't imagine them wanting to leave Manhasset. But the thing is, of course, talking about Macy's, there's just no reason for that Macy's to stay open. I mean, you got Short Hills down the road, which is the much better performer for Macy's, and it's a growth store. Lord & Taylor Livingston is gone, and Sears is gone to Livingston, but that's a vaccination center. It was 1 year ago today. I was still living away at FDU. This was maybe 18 days before the COVID pandemic hit. Everything was shut down. I was in the Livingston Mall, and the reason I went was because Sears happened to be one of the Sears stores at the time that announced that they were closing by April, which I guess Transform Co. had no idea what was coming. And I remember walking inside the Lord & Taylor store. This was a year ago. This was before Lord & Taylor announced anything. I just remember walking through the Lord & Taylor store, and I saw no customers in there whatsoever. I saw no shoppers in there. And this was a Sunday morning. It's not like this was the middle of the week. This was a Sunday morning. And I'm saying to myself, they're not going to be in business for much longer if they don't have any customers. And sure enough, a once-in-a-century pandemic comes, wipes them off the face of the earth 1 year later. Like, that is insane to be saying something like that. Like, a year ago today, when I was still taking classes at FDU, I went to Livingston, and I predicted that very correctly. And now look where we are 1 year later. Lord & Taylor, all stores gone, and their e-commerce business is expected to launch next month. Apple stores. Yeah, Apple's pretty good, but it depends specifically on where the location has. They have closed stores in New Jersey before. They closed the one in Atlantic City because that was an underperforming store. Freehold, I think, is going to be a relocation, just given that there's a demand in a market. It's right now Apple is in the wrong mall. That's pretty much the deal. Have you been to the Hilton Garden Inn in Rockaway? The staff were nasty. No, I have not been in there. I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, the mall needs something. But yeah, I mean, definitely apartments. That would definitely help. And a hotel, of course. Yeah, that's the only other one in Nassau County. Manhasset and Roosevelt Field. Suffolk County has two Apple stores, Walt Whitman Shops and Smith Haven Mall. As a matter of fact, Smith Haven Mall recently got a Lego store, which really surprises me. But who knows? Maybe it's far enough away from Roosevelt Field. Yeah, Boundwit Teller has been gone for a long time. How are you, Mass Transit Pikachu Productions? Yeah, it depends on the store. The lower demand stores they're trying to get rid of, but the higher demand stores, like, they're going to keep. Like, Paramus is a high demand store. Willowbrook is a high demand store. The mall at Short Hills is a high demand store. They just redid their store in Bridgewater, Menlo Park, Quaker Bridge Mall. What's another one that's like a high demand? Sagemore and Cherry Hill. Yeah, which I bet Apple is regretting now at this point. I could see Apple going back to Palisades, honestly. If of course Nanuet were to go downhill, and it already has pretty much. I mean, you do have the at home, but I don't know. Thanks, John C. How are you? Hey, Chris, have you visited the Amazon Fresh supermarket in Woodland Park yet? No, I have not. I bet they're going to put one up in Paramus pretty soon. Broadway Commons isn't looking too well. I was there today, except Target's doing fine. Sagemore is located in New Jersey. It's the shop. The shops are prominent in Sagemore, New Jersey. Green Acres Mall is in a much better position than Broadway Commons. And I know that sounds crazy, but Green Acres, you have so much retail there, and even the mall, but you have all the retail on the outside. Yeah, I mean, Sears, everybody knew that Sears was going to close. But Broadway Commons is in trouble. That place is in trouble. I mean, give or take, there are no elevators at the shops at Promenade. It's just a one single level mall. There's no elevators there. So the thing is, with Broadway Commons, the Macy's is gone. There are tenants on the inside that are closing. The Brown One is still closed and cannot be allowed to open until March 26th, almost a year after that arcade was closed. But yeah, no, I mean, Broadway Commons is just in trouble. The mall's in trouble. That's just the bottom line. The mall is in trouble. It is in a lot of trouble. Now, yeah, give or take, you can say, oh yeah, it's got an IKEA and it's got a Target. Guess what? People, you could say that. You could say, okay, yeah, Broadway Commons isn't in trouble. It has an IKEA and a Target. But the thing is, yes, people are going into those stores. But guess where they're not going? Inside the actual mall structure. You have to take a look at it from a smaller scope. They're not going inside the actual mall structure. They're only going there specifically for IKEA and Target. They're not wasting their time going around the mall and shopping or getting something at the food court. They want to get to Target or they want to go to IKEA, maybe go through the maze IKEA on a weekend because those places get really packed on weekends, or even Target. They go into Target, get their thing, and get out. They're not there to go around the mall. So, and that unfortunately has led to the decline of the mall, of course. And the Macy's store, of course, closing was never a good thing. But Roosevelt Field was always the better one than Broadway Commons. I mean, give or take, you can't compare Broadway Commons to Roosevelt Field. Roosevelt Field is a much better mall. I mean, look at the anchor lineup it has. It has a Macy's, it has a Jcpenney, it has a Nordstrom, it has a Bloomingdale's, Dick's Sporting Goods, Grand Lux Cafe, the Capitol Grill, the AMC theaters. There's just more. There's more to do there than there is to do at Broadway Commons. There's more shopping choices. There's more restaurant choices. There's more entertainment choices. There's better entertainment choices that have a better appeal. That's why Roosevelt Field's the better property, of course. Round one is not closing Broadway Commons. I don't think, at least. Yeah, Broadway Commons round one is reopening March 26th, I believe. Do you think Bergen Town Center will get entertainment options? In the past, they had an ice rink and a bowling alley. So here's the thing with Bergen Town Center. Bergen Town Center, formerly called the Outlets, yes, we all know Urban Edge decided to change the name, and I'm actually kind of glad they did it because it's simplification and it gives it a much better appeal than putting, say, the Outlets. I like that they went back to the original name, which that was very smart that they did that. So here's the thing. Bergen Town Center has enough stores where it's not in trouble. Yes, they have an empty space by Century 21, but Century 21 might very well go back in that space. We heard about their comeback, so we could see that happen. I don't know, but I don't think Bergen Town Center is in trouble. I think Bergen Town Center has enough essential retailers, and not only that, there's a lot of good stores there that people are willing to spend time in that structure. With the mall not being in trouble. That's why I'm kind of grateful that that property saw something in Sunrise. I mean, I can't imagine Urban Edge not wanting the property. I mean, think about it. They're the geniuses behind Vernando, really, the geniuses behind Bergen Town Center and Wayne Town Center. I can't imagine why they wouldn't have want Sunrise. So they see something in Sunrise that you or me do not see yet. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going. I know, and people have asked me so many times, Chris, when are you going back to Roosevelt Field? When are you going back to Roosevelt Field? I'm like, I will gladly go back to Roosevelt Field when something closes. They make the announcement that this anchor store is closing. Then I'll consider a trip there. But it's a long trip to go there. Like, it would have to be an anchor that has been iconic, a staple of that mall, and physically too, an elevator within inside that building that is iconic to the community and on YouTube as well. It's not going yet, but I could see Sears Sunrise Mall and Y going, if not April, and if not over the summer, it'll go in the fall. And same thing goes with the Jersey City location. Round one is not closing. Yes, and that's why Roosevelt Field is better than Broadway Commons, because it has all different types of cuisines catering. It has all different types of restaurant cuisines catering to different cultures. That's why Roosevelt Field is better than Broadway Commons. How is Palisades Mall in Nyack doing overall? Seems like the mall's going downhill in the last few years. Yeah, unfortunately, Chris, you're right about that. Obviously, the closure of Jcpenney in 2017, that didn't help out the mall. The Lord & Taylor closure in 2019, thank goodness my school had a trip and I was able to film that store. But Palisades is definitely doing better than the Gallery at White Plains. Palisades Center is definitely more, there's more to do there than Galleria at White Plains. I will leave it at that. Oh yeah, no. But I think Urban Edge is gonna clean up that property. But we don't know yet what their plans are. But they're definitely going to clean it up. They're not going to neglect it. Like they're not going to neglect the property like Westfield did. And Westfield doesn't even own that property anymore. Broadway Commons is located in Hicksville, town of Oyster Bay, New York. Really, town of Oyster Bay, but people call it Hicksville. Interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, I mean, Bergen Town Center is a red-hot retail property, so I can't imagine that Century 21 spot being vacant for long. I could very well see Century 21 coming back to that store because of their comeback plan. Century 21 wants to open a Staten Island Mall again. It depends. They could say a small number of locations, or we don't know yet. We don't know what their plans are. Phipps Plaza? No. Here's the thing. If it has upscale anchors, then the mall's fine. Destiny USA is in trouble. Yes, that place is definitely in trouble. Nope, they're gonna reopen Dave and Buster's. Yeah, that Dave and Buster's is reopening. Hi, Elevators of Steel City by Otis Elevator Fan. How are you? Annoying scratch. It might, but it depends on if Century 21 wants to put a store there. Again, we don't know. Well, that happens. I think it'll be the same exact spot, but I think they'll either renovate it or, well, actually no, they can't keep it the same because they liquidated the merchandise or they liquidated fixtures. But I would think that they'll renovate the store if they decide to come back, of course, because the structure's already there. All they have to do is renovate the store and probably modernize the elevators, I'd imagine. No, I don't know yet. Yeah, they do, definitely. I think that's owned by Simon. King of Prussia is better. No doubt about that one. King of Prussia is the better Simon Mall. Roosevelt Field is still good. King of Prussia is a lot larger. And they have more additional anchor choices. They have a Macy's, a Nordstrom, a Neiman Marcus, and a Bloomingdale's. They're just bigger ones. Just a bigger mall structure overall than Roosevelt Field. Yes, it is going to reopen, I believe, at some point by the end of March. Billy B's, yeah, that's reopening. Roosevelt can't wait for Krispy Kreme and Route 4 premise. No, I do not know when the opening date was. One question: did Lord & Taylor and Garden City close yesterday? No. All Lord & Taylor stores closed on Saturday, February 27th, 2021. The only stores that closed yesterday were a small round of Seritage Growth Properties owned Sears and Kmart stores. Lord & Taylor closed all their stores yesterday. I mean, not sorry, yesterday, the day before, which was Saturday. Pretty good, Fantech 0104. How are you? Tallman's the better mall, but Rouse did put in food courts. So both of them have their ups and downs. Tallman was definitely the more upper scale part. Rouse was like, all right, we're just going to build a mall. We're just going to put a food court in. Now that Lord & Taylor is completely done, when will the demolition of the Westfield, New Jersey location begin? I would say probably in the spring. I wouldn't say this month, but probably April, May. You could be looking at the beginning of the demolition of that building. It's really sad that that building is coming down, though. I still can't believe that that building is coming down. I mean, I get why they want to do low income housing, but man, what an awful fate for that building. You know, but I get it. You know, the building's obsolete. I get it. I totally get it. So. Here's the thing: Paramus Park has a Stu Leonard's, and it still has a decent amount of stores, and it's not in a sketchy area. Hicksville is kind of a sketchy area, as much as I hate to say that. I don't think it's a similar situation. I would compare Broadway Commons to maybe Sunrise Mall, but Sunrise just got bought by Urban Edge. I would compare Broadway Commons to the Gallery at White Plains more so. Paramus Park is in an absolute much different situation than Broadway Commons. Broadway Commons is in a similar situation right now as the Gallery at White Plains. And here's a fun fact: both of those properties in similar situations are both owned by the same company. And look at where they are. I mean, look at Gallery White Plains. Sears left the 24th. I mean, obviously Sears is just struggling as a whole, and it's sad that they had to close. And Macy's is closing by the end of either this month or next month. So I think you could compare it with the Gallery White Plains, Broadway Commons. You could compare the situations together. Those can definitely be compared more so. IKEA, yes, but the people don't go inside the mall, and same thing with Target. Roosevelt Field, Walt Whitman, or Smith Haven? Roosevelt Field's the best one on Long Island, although Walt Whitman is the second most upscale property on Long Island, number one being Americana Manhasset. Well, any mall that has Mills on it is definitely owned by Simon. The glass elevator at Paramus Park was removed because there was jams and there was lines to ride the elevator up and down. So it just made sense for the mall to completely remove it and replace it with two Schindler MTs. There were just lines forming by it, and it just made sense at the time. And honestly, I think it was a smart move too by the mall. Beaver Valley Mall doing? I don't know how that one's doing. You emailed Pacific Retail? Wow, okay. Yeah, the mall, Broadway Commons, there is no hope for that property. As much as I hate to say that, the Target and IKEA will remain, and even if IKEA pulls out, it just, yeah, no, Broadway Commons is done. The mall's essentially done. as much as I hate to say that. And yes, you could say IKEA and Target. You could say IKEA and Target all you want, but we know the people are not going in those stores to go inside the mall. We know they're only going into those stores specifically and getting out of there as soon as possible. There's no reason for anybody to go inside the mall. The food court is dismal. I mean, the movie theater, I don't really think anyone's going to Broadway Commons to see theaters. And round one is still closed, and it's going to stay closed until at least March. And even then, are people really going to go back there for round one? That I don't know. I don't know personally. I don't know if it's the right location for a round one. No, Neiman Marcus is not going for now, at least. They're safe for now. I don't even want to think about Neiman Marcus for now. Yeah, I think it's something that Jersey has where you have to have low income housing, and my guess is it's the best place for downtown Westfield to have low income housing. And honestly, I think it's a good thing because think about it: it's near the train station and it's near the downtown. So if people needed to get stuff, they could just walk. So I think it kind of makes sense, actually. Yeah, I'm not surprised they pulled out. Which mall is worse, Broadway Commons or Livingston Mall? Here's the thing. You compare the two, they're both in trouble, but they're both in very different areas. Livingston is a nice area of New Jersey, and there's money and there's investment there. It's just the mall is not exactly the best mall there because of the mall at Short Hills. So if you compare the two, Broadway Commons is in a much worse situation, and just the area that it's in is not great. It's not a great area, and I've been there. I've been to Broadway Commons. I actually went last year, a month before COVID hit, and it was the best decision I ever did. Thank God I went before the pandemic hit, because then I would have never gotten a chance to ride the 1956 armored traction elevators. Sadly, was not able to get to Smith Haven, but hey, you know what? At the end of the day, I'm glad I got to Broadway Commons. Yeah, Pacific retail sucks, especially here on the East Coast. No, no, because they have a nice store there. No, no, Broadway Commons is a lot worse than Livingston. Livingston just needs a little help. Broadway Commons is doomed. Once IKEA pulls out of there and Target will seal their mall entrance off, the place is effed. Yeah, that was a Schindler Halt in Paramus Park. So yes, they both have a number of closed stores, but they're both in decent areas. They're not in areas that are declining. Those other areas are actually doing well. Sears and Boscov's. Jcpenney and Macy's have not closed yet. No, malls have not gone back to normal hours yet. That's another really good question. And considering Market Fair does have upscale tenants, I think it is something down the road. But maybe Apple could look into putting a store in Princeton, actually. Gallery at White Plains is in a lot rougher shape than Broadway Commons, given that they lost two anchors, glass elevator doesn't work, and considering and Old Navy just pulled out of there. Gallery at White Plains is in a lot rough shape than Broadway Commons. So yeah, that's unfortunately the thing. So hold on one second, guys. I'm gonna throw my headphones in. One second, guys. All right, my apologies. Yeah, Hicksville is becoming a lot like Hempstead. I'm gonna have to agree on that one. So, and I'll make this prediction very clear. One location in New York City, one location on Long Island, one location in New Jersey. Take it to the bank. The New Jersey location will be American Dream first. Possible expansion of Paramus down the road. Roosevelt Field will definitely be their location on Long Island, and they'll do one in New York City probably. Woodbridge Center is better than both Livingston Mall and Broadway Commons. Pretty much anyone does that. So that's the same deal at Westfield Garden State Plaza. Interesting. Hello, Butterboy. 2008. They'll probably just redevelop it. Yes, it is an upscale mall. Could be. They might do that. No, I have never been to the New England malls. Yeah. Interesting. Congratulations for getting that camera. Yeah, you should. Just make sure you don't go on a Sunday. Yes, I know. Oxford Valley Mall is close to Sesame Place. Yes, I've been to Pennsylvania, Harrisburg, Hamburg. Sometimes I used to hit the Cabela's on the way there. The Export Fitness is on a basement. Is in the basement. The second floor and the first floor would be Century 21. Do you think it would have been better for Westfield Garden State Plaza to close Lord and Taylor and keep Jcpenney? No. I think Jcpenney was standing in the way of a redevelopment plan that Westfield wanted to do for a very long time, although we all know that Westfield is now getting out of the mall business. The point being, Jcpenney was going to close at that mall either way, just because the mall probably raised the rent ridiculously, or they came up with some kind of agreement between Jcpenney and Unibail Rodamco Westfield to tell Jcpenney, listen, we don't want you in here anymore. You can shift your resources to Wayne or Jersey City. So I think that happened too. But Lord and Taylor, unfortunately, is closed because of the pandemic. So two totally different reasons. I mean, Jcpenney closed because the mall owners made an agreement that they wanted them out of there after 60 years, and they wanted to redevelop that space. Lord and Taylor, unfortunately, went because of the whole what's it called? The whole bankruptcy thing with the pandemic, unfortunately. But the writing was on the wall for Lord and Taylor for a very long time. It's just people covered it up really well, and then eventually, obviously, we found out May 7th, May 8th of last year, Lord and Taylor was closing. They got all the stores back online. By August 2nd, they started announcing store closures. I don't know. Probably some redevelopment. Yeah. Yes, the 330A will be kept because of export being on the basement, not on the second floor. Remember, Bloomingdale's furniture was on floors 1 and floor 2, in the spot that was split in half after Stearns closed. Ohio? No. Oh, Clearwater Beach, Florida. That's very nice down there, Florida. It's always really nice down there. How is Westfield South Shore doing? Well, considering it still has a Macy's and a JCPenney and a Dick's Sporting Goods, I'd say the mall's doing okay for now. Well, they are obviously going to keep that. I've seen the floor plans. There's a new elevator already in there and escalators. Everything's ready to go with that.
I've seen the floor plans already. Yeah, no, they're definitely keeping both 330As. They're keeping the one, well, export. Why wouldn't they keep it? Plus, it's not that old of an elevator. It's not like they have to rip it out anyway. Yeah, United's the big one at Newark. American has their big hub in Philly, smaller hubs at JFK and LaGuardia. Delta is big at JFK and LaGuardia. The Jcpenney space, that's becoming a new mall wing that's connecting the East Wing and the West Wing. JetBlue, yeah, they're really nice. I wanna try out their Mint experience on a what is it uh, an A3 Airbus. I don't know anyone know aviation here, and I want to try it on. I think it's on the A321. It's the Mint experience, and you just it's like a first class, better than like the three legacy carriers of American, Delta, and United. So I would definitely want to try that out. I don't think they're going to do that. Here's the thing. I don't exactly think JCPenney is looking to open locations right now. Considering I just saw that they're liquidating 18, I can't imagine JCPenney wanting to come back to Bergen County. Plus, they have a location in Wayne and Jersey City. So someone could easily just drive to one of those two. Plus, the Wayne location is not too far away. It's only about 20 minutes of Interstate 80 West. And also, I don't know if there's exactly a demand for someone to travel for JCPenney to come to Bergen County. That I don't know. I don't know if the demand is there. Broadway Commons or Harrisburg East Mall? Harrisburg East Mall isn't in a declining area, so Broadway Commons is the much property that's in worse shape. Plus, Harrisburg East Mall still has their movie theater. Yeah, okay, they don't have a Macy's, but think about it. They have a movie theater, a food court, and a Bass Pro Shops. I think you're joking about that one, Scorch. Yeah, but the third floor is locked off, sadly. But yeah, we knew the 300. We knew the 300 A's were going to stay with Dick's. Plus, Dick's Sporting Goods has an exclusive contract with Schindler, so it was just easier and cheaper for them to keep those elevators from Sears. Probably by car. Well, 330A isn't exactly anything special. Yeah, well, Lord and Taylor closed. The JCPenney spot at Westfield South Shore is up for lease, but the building has not closed yet. Oh man, it's been 1 year since the first COVID case. COVID is a very dangerous disease, and it killed a lot of people, and a lot of retail got affected by COVID. Really, I'm surprised. I'm very surprised. Well, maybe that's probably why that they want to do the college campus there, or at least classes at least, which makes sense because think about it, they put some classes in there. People commute to the Freehold Raceway Mall every day. Think about it, they can leave the actual college and go get some lunch at the food court. I think it's the smartest thing because think about it, you have a bunch of college students already there at the mall. They could go to the food court, or if it's a really special event and say they did something big, they passed an exam after a class, they want to go out and have a nice meal, guess what, they're already there. So I think that's a really smart deal, at least. No, it's not closing soon. The next round of Sears and Kmart closures is coming out on Earth Day. The reason I say that is because the first round is concluding with the Kmart and Kearney and the Sears and Valley Stream on Sunday, April 18th, 2021. And then there's another round that was announced like Valentine's Day weekend that's concluding May 2nd. So some stores are closing April 18th. Another round is closing May 2nd. Both rounds were announced in February. So what's going to happen after that is there's going to be another round in April, one round in the summer, and then finally the last round in the fall closes the mall. Sears and Kmart in the United States, including its territories, are completely done and wiped off the face of the earth. The end. See you later. Bye-bye. That's for Sears, at least. Yeah, I think it was one of those two. Brookdale or the other one was looking at there. I don't play Fortnite. No, no. Nordstrom would never do that. If Nordstrom is looking to do, if Nordstrom is looking to do a second store on Long Island, it's gonna be Walt Women's Shops. Me too, honestly. If it's got a Shoppers World, then it might not be in trouble just yet. Yep, it's unfortunate. And that's when I think this is now my fourth. I have not sat in an actual college lecture room since March 6th. And that was right around the time the spring break was. Like that was the last time I sat in a lecture, in a lecture hall rather. It was a 1 o'clock. That was the last time ever I sat in a lecture hall. And then everything went remote. Everything went remote. And I've been remote since. So my spring semester, it was half in person, and then the rest of it was all remote. Yeah, I mean, everything was shutting down. And then I think the fourth day remote learning, they said, yep, we've made the difficult but necessary decision to completely have everything remote. So, and then I decided, all right, I'm going to community college, and now I've been remote for like about 3 semesters now. So that's probably true, but there's no really good key anchor store in that mall, which means that mall's in trouble. I think Broadway Commons is a lot safer than City Center Mall Patterson. How will Westfield South Shore survive without a Lord and Taylor? I think it already has. I don't think people go to Westfield South Shore for a Lord and Taylor. Yeah, I don't think Kmart Australia will, because that and Sears Mexico are not part of Eddie Lampert. Thank goodness. It's probably why Sears El Paso hasn't closed yet. Makes me wonder if Sears Mexico is just going to come in and buy it. Wouldn't be surprised if they did, honestly. Yeah, Capital City, I think is the better one. Yeah, it's probably going to be late 2021. Yeah, I know. Sears, Smith Haven, Kmart, Penn Station, and then we had a bunch of Sears closing in New Jersey, Livingston, New Brunswick. What was another one? Moorestown and Kmart West Long Branch, all closed. Oh, and the Sears and Woodbridge Center, of course. How could I forget that one? That was the old Abraham and Strauss. Well, there's not really much there anyway. New World Malls in Flushing. No, because then that would affect the Sono collection, and then there's also Nordstrom West Farms. If your mall has a Dillard's clearance center, you're in trouble. Yeah, yeah. When you have a Dillard's clearance center, you're just gonna want to call it quits after that. I mean, if you go from a Dillard's to a Dillard's clearance center, your mall is effed. Your mall is just effed. Like just give up now. There is no hope for saving the property. I don't think people go there for the food court. I don't think anybody would go to Westfield South Shore for the food court. Plus, they don't exactly have a big food court. No, the mall is known for having a Dick's, which is a destination, a couple of lower scale stores, Jcpenney, obviously, and a really nice Macy's. No, because I bet there's a Nordstrom not too far away from that mall. Although I don't know Massachusetts that well, as much as I know my home state of New Jersey. Yes, Sears in Mexico is safe because Eddie Scott Lampert does not own it. That's the only reason why it's safe. That goes for Kmart. That goes for Kmart in Australia too. Be interesting to see what closings happen this week, though. Fry's Electronics definitely was a surprise last week. I can't even believe they're gone. Fry's Electronics, and there were so many stories. I mean, I didn't know the chain that well. They were on the West Coast, and New Jersey's on the East Coast, but still, it's a pretty cool electronics chain. Like they had little cafes inside them. They had all different kind of themes. Like they don't make stores like that anymore. Anyways, you could probably fit two. Not yet, at least. He's American. He's not. He's not Mexican. I mean, that's true, but I still think the food court is decent. But I'm surprised Burger King though closed in the food court. That I'm surprised about because I was there last summer. Yeah, wait a minute. What's the one Taubman Mall in Maryland? I don't think that's owned by Taubman anymore though. Oh, Amazon already has a four-star store planned, so I'd imagine an Amazon Books is probably going there. Barnes and Noble already has a store in Clifton. I can't imagine them wanting to dump Clifton for East Rutherford. Plus, Barnes and Noble already has two locations in Bergen County. Makes sense. Marley Station Mall. Is it still owned by Taubman? No. I think they just lost to Sears. Yeah, it wasn't exactly an upscale Taubman Mall. Oh, if Namdar owns Marley Station, yeah, the mall's done. Yeah, and I'd really not rather get into it on this stream. Okay. Yeah, I'm probably going to wrap this up in about 7 minutes or so. We're going to keep it going for another 7 minutes, and then we're going to wrap up the stream. Yes, Barnes Noble does hate photography. So, all right. Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right about that. All right, so guys, we'll keep it going for another 5 minutes. Fair Oaks Mall is definitely better. I don't know. Would be ideal though. Oh, I was gonna say, they're actually opening up a Burlington in Secaucus. They're relocating it to from what's it called? Um, it's already in an existing property, but it's but they want it to be in an actual like decent property. Twelve Oaks Mall, I think it's doing fine for now. I contacted the moderator about that because he literally just he took it too far. Look, I'm not going to get upset at someone, but when you start taking it too far and insulting a channel that people really like, I mean, there is no place for that. You know, that guy's a loser. He's an absolute loser who has nothing better to do. But to harass me for my spelling, and then to say, "Oh, we don't care about this information," um, I mean, you can't make that crap up. And you're harassing me, and then you're making different accounts. You can't do that kind of crap. That's unacceptable, especially in a place where people actually care about that type of information. And you're just going to come on here and start bashing me and talking about why my YouTube channel is garbage. Like, no, that's not right. That's not cool. That's not cool at all. You can't do that kind of crap. Yeah, no, nobody cares about his opinions. Yeah, I'm sure he's a nobody. He probably doesn't go to school, nor does he have a job. I mean, you know, just yeah, no, it upsets me. You know, it's really upsetting. But you know what? I contacted the moderator already. I told him my story. I said, listen, and he's doing it on both the Reddit Sears community and the Reddit Jcpenney community. So I made sure this guy needs to get blocked. That's it. He's got to get blocked. You know, it doesn't matter. So, anyways, let me get back to some other questions here. Hudson County Barnes Noble, I don't know. College for Nordstrom's Freehold Raceway Mall. I think I went over that before. Sometimes people like to ask questions twice, but I like to clarify, of course. Yes, West Farms has a really good Taubman Center. No, I don't know about that in Maryland. Mall in Columbia just lost its Thornton Taylor, and White Marsh Mall, I don't know where that is. There's a Barnes and Noble in Carl Place. There's still one in there. Broadway Commons. I don't think Nordstrom will ever go to Maine. I can't imagine they will. I didn't know that. Well, it's not even a moderator. It's the moderator needs to fix the issue of him being on there and literally criticizing me. Not really criticizing, but like harassing me about my channel. Like nobody cares about your channel. Um, you know, just it's just not the place for it. You know. Now people can disagree with me. I'm not saying they don't have to agree with me. They don't have to agree with my opinion. But when you start going on there and start giving all these reasons because you have nothing better to do, then something needs to be done about it. That's just it. So, ugh, hate when that does that. What? There we go. Just X out of that. Westchester Mall is better. Do I sing? No, I do not sing. Yeah, my mic is unmuted now. Wow, there's actually a decent amount of people on here. Wow. Does anybody have any more questions? My mic is not working. Is it working now? You can't hear me. Okay, let me try. Is the mic working now? Oh, okay. Towson Town Center? I don't know. Okay, the mic is working. Okay. Yeah, okay. So I just had to reload the page then. Okay. Cool. Yes, we are. Malls and elevators. Yeah. Wow, there's a lot of people on here. Now I almost don't want to end. I was just about to end the stream, but now there's a decent amount of people on here. Glorious Golden Square. No, have not heard of that. That sounds like that's a mall in California. Oh, that's a trailer park. I don't know. Do you like the mall at Short Hills? Of course, it's my favorite mall and the only good Tallman property in New Jersey. Brandon, you asked this question like 3 times already. It's probably going to be a college thing. Yeah, the only malls really in West Virginia are the Charleston Town Center and the Huntington Mall. That's really it. They don't really have malls like we do here. So, does anybody have any last minute questions? Because now is the time to ask. Main Mall. Yes, I've heard of that one. Oh, wow. I don't know. Willowbrook, I think. Although Jersey Gardens, I think, does a little better than Willowbrook. So, City Mall in Colorado Springs, Colorado. I'm not going to look at that right now. So, I've heard of it. Yes. I don't know. They're doing 3 rounds, and I don't know. But anyway, so I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. What is a college thing? It's like it would be like another way to get university campus classes. It's like kids would have a chance to take classes in the former department store building and then go get lunch afterwards. So, but anyways, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up Q&A live stream 124 here. Thank you guys for watching.